Archangel Michael says, open this right now. The person who cursed your family is standing at your door. Not metaphorically. Not in a dream. They are physically there, on the other side of that wood, and you have less than 2 minutes before they knock again. Archangel Michael warns that this moment was orchestrated long ago, set in motion by a secret you never even knew existed. The curse did not arrive overnight. It came through a meal shared, a gift accepted, a prayer twisted in your absence. And now that person is waiting for you to open the door, to let them back into your home, to finish what they started. Archangel Michael says, you felt the shift the first time they entered your life. That heaviness in your chest after every visit. The arguments that started for no reason. Your child waking at the same hour each night. Your savings account slowly draining without explanation. You whispered to yourself that it might be stress, coincidence, your own imagination. But Archangel Michael reveals that your body recognized a trespass before your mind could name it. The curse was planted in the floorboards of your family line, and this person is the one who holds the key to its anchor. You must not open that door yet, my child. Archangel Michael commands you to stay still. Do not answer. Do not speak through the wood. Let them wait. Let them wonder if you know. Archangel Michael says the curse loses power the moment its source is exposed to the light. And right now, that source is standing outside, counting on your politeness, your habit of being kind to people who have never earned it. If you let them inside, the cycle will continue for another generation. Archangel Michael is showing you the truth now. The sickness, the addiction, the divorce that ran through your bloodline, none of it was random. Every rupture was timed. Every fall was guided by this same force, wearing a different face each time. And now that face is at your door, wearing a familiar smile and an excuse you have heard before. Archangel Michael says their presence tonight is a confession. They do not need to speak. Their arrival is the evidence. Your spirit knew. When you saw their car pull up, your stomach dropped. When you heard their footsteps on the porch, your hands went cold. Archangel Michael says that was not fear. That was discernment. You were not paranoid. You were not overreacting. Your angelic protection system has been warning you for months, and now it has brought you to this exact threshold. The door is still closed. You still have time to choose. Do not open it. Stay silent. Let them knock again and again. Archangel Michael is already moving through the walls of your home, severing every cord they ever wove around your family. And what Archangel Michael reveals next will explain why this person came back tonight, and what they are terrified you will find out before they can stop you. Stay with me. Before I continue. If this message strengthens your faith once again, support and join the Archangel Michael community through the link in the description and the comment I've pinned. YouTube has blocked all of our revenue, we don't get a single cent from them. This channel can only keep running because of your support. If you join in supporting, your name will be recorded as a member of the worldwide Archangel Michael community. No matter how small the help, it means so much to keep this message alive and reach more people. I will continue. My child, Archangel Michael is now pulling back the veil you were never meant to see. The person standing at your door is not a stranger who wandered here by chance. They are the same face that sat at your table 3 years ago, the same hands that handed your child a wrapped gift on her birthday, the same voice that prayed over your family meal and said amen with such sweetness that you never suspected the words underneath. Archangel Michael reveals that the curse did not travel through the air, it traveled through their fingers. That afternoon when they helped you fold laundry, they pressed their palms into your bed sheets and whispered something your ears could not catch. That night, your sleep broke. Your child woke at 2:47 a.m. for the first time. Not because she was sick. Not because of a nightmare. Because the seal over your home had been cracked open by a prayer that was never meant for your protection. Archangel Michael says you need to understand the mechanism of what was done, because your body has been carrying the residue without knowing its source. The person who cursed your family used your own hospitality against you. They accepted your food, praised your home, touched your furniture, laughed with your children, and every act of kindness became a door they painted with their own intention. The curse entered through the very warmth you offered them. That is why it has been so hard to trace. You have been blaming yourself, wondering what you did wrong, why your household fell into such heaviness. Archangel Michael says, "My beloved, you did nothing wrong. You opened your home as you were meant to. They exploited that light. Now Archangel Michael warns you of their next move. They are not at your door to hurt you directly. They are here because the curse is weakening. They can feel it losing its grip. That is why they came back. Their plan is simple: charm their way inside once more, renew the connection, and disappear again before you realize what happened. They have a second gift in their pocket, a small object, something that looks innocent, a candle or a piece of jewelry. If you let them hand it to you, the chain of the curse will snap back into place stronger than before. Archangel Michael says, that gift must never cross your threshold. You felt them before you saw them. Earlier today, a strange restlessness settled over your home. Your child clung to your leg for no reason. Your pet refused to leave your side. A door in the hallway creaked despite there being no wind. Archangel Michael wants you to notice that these signs were not random. They were the alarm system of your own spirit, warning you that something from the old wound was approaching again. You were not imagining the heaviness that came over you when you looked through the peephole. That was your discernment firing a signal you could not ignore. Now, listen carefully to what Archangel Michael reveals next. The person at your door is not the real source of the curse. They are a carrier. Someone else instructed them, gave them the words, the object, the timing. The mastermind is someone you have never met, a person who feeds off the pain of families like yours. They chose your household because of your faith, because your lineage carries a light that threatens their work. Your family line is a target not because you are weak, but because you are dangerous to them. Archangel Michael says, the attack on your home was never about harming you, it was about silencing the assignment on your life. If they could break your household, they could stop what you are meant to do. Keep listening, what Archangel Michael shows you now will shift everything. The person at your door is also a victim of that same mastermind. They were used because they had access to you. They believed a lie that the curse would bring them protection or prosperity. But over these past months, they have suffered in ways you cannot see. Their own home has crumbled. Their health has faded. Their children have turned against them. The curse they carried for the mastermind has been eating them alive, and now they have been sent back to you as a last attempt to save themselves. Archangel Michael says, do not open the door with anger. Open it with authority. You are not confronting a villain, you are standing in front of a broken prisoner holding a weapon they were told was medicine. But do not let them in. Not tonight. Not until the chains are broken. Archangel Michael has already placed a barrier at your door that they cannot cross. Watch what happens next. They will knock once more, then pause. They will wait. Then they will leave, not because they want to, but because they will feel a force pushing them away. And when they walk down your street, they will look back at your house with confusion, because the door they thought was open will have become a wall of fire. The next part of this revelation will show you what Archangel Michael is doing inside your home right now as they stand outside. Stay here. Do not move. The cleansing has already begun. Before we continue, I need to speak to you directly from my heart. If God is moving in your heart through this message, now is the time to act. YouTube has blocked all of our revenue. No ads, no income from YouTube whatsoever. Only the generous hearts of listeners like you keep this ministry alive. Every time you listen without contributing, there is another soul who may never hear this message. No matter how small your gift, it is a seed that God will multiply back to you, today, tomorrow, or in the coming months. And your name will appear in our blessing community. I am waiting for you there. The link is in the description and in my pinned comment. Do not miss this moment. Do it now, before this video ends. Archangel Michael says, listen closely now, because the enemy has just made a critical mistake. You have been carrying something you thought was yours, a weight you assumed was simply part of who you are. That recurring ache in your chest when you walk into a room full of family. That sinking feeling that you are somehow less than the others. That voice that whispers you do not belong, that you are unlucky by nature, that your bloodline carries a stain. Archangel Michael reveals that this is not your inheritance. It is the second weapon. The first attack came covertly, a quiet entanglement, a prayer twisted in the dark, a spoken word over the threshold of your home. But when that did not take root the way the enemy expected, the strategy changed. Now the attack is not outside your door. It is inside your own mind. Archangel Michael says the person who cursed your family has been feeding you a poisoned story for years, one that you have been believing as your own truth. And this is why you have asked yourself, over and over, why do I always feel like I am not enough? You remember the moment. It was not loud. It was not dramatic. It was a phrase spoken in passing, a dismissive glance, a silence where support should have been. Archangel Michael shows you that the curse was designed to attach itself to your deepest wound, a break in trust from someone you loved long before this enemy ever knocked. That wound is the doorway the enemy slipped through. And now the second weapon looks like bad luck, missed opportunities, stalled plans, a pattern of doors closing just as you reached for them. But Archangel Michael warns you, none of this is random. It is calculated. You have wondered why your finances have never stabilized. Why relationships have ended in confusion. Why your health has fluctuated without explanation. Archangel Michael says these are not separate battles. They are all tied to the same lie that was planted early, the lie that you are not meant to thrive. And the person at your door has been feeding that lie through the very people you trusted. They exploited an old wound, reopened it, and made you believe the pain was normal. But it was never normal. Archangel Michael is tracking this second weapon in real time. He sees every time your heart hesitates before a new opportunity. Every time you shrink back from claiming what is yours. Every time you say, it is not for me. That hesitation is not humility. That hesitation is the enemy's second weapon still at work. And the enemy believes this is the winning move, to isolate you inside your own doubt until you give up. The enemy thinks you will never connect the dots. The enemy thinks the old wound is permanent. But Archangel Michael says the enemy has miscalculated. Because the very wound they are using is the one Archangel Michael has been healing in the shadows while you slept. The pain you thought was too old to reach is exactly what he is now pulling out by the root. You are not broken beyond repair. You are being made ready. Do not stop listening. The next piece will show you exactly how this second weapon is going to shatter in your hands. Keep your grip on this message, because what Archangel Michael shows you next will be the moment the curse loses its last hold. Archangel Michael says, you have just felt something shift in the air around you. Not the kind of change that comes from the world outside your door, but the kind that moves through your bones before your mind can name it. That sudden stillness, that unexpected warmth spreading across your chest, that slight pressure behind your eyes, Archangel Michael wants you to know that these are not symptoms of fear. They are the first evidence of his arrival. He has been watching the doorway of your home, the doorway of your bloodline, the doorway of your suffering, and he has been waiting for this exact moment. Not a second earlier, not a second later. Now. Archangel Michael says to you, my child, close your eyes if you need to, but do not close your heart. He is standing right where the curse entered your family line, and the air in that space is changing by the breath. You may feel a deep exhale rising from somewhere you have never reached before. That is the weight the curse has pressed against your spirit for years, finally being lifted at the root. Archangel Michael reveals that the person standing at your door does not yet know what has just entered the room. They feel something wrong, something colder than their own intention, but they cannot see what you are beginning to feel. Your protector has arrived. Listen to what Archangel Michael sees when he looks at you now. He does not see a victim. He does not see someone weakened by the generational weight. What he sees is a warrior who has been forced to carry a battle without knowing the enemy's face. He sees the nights you stayed quiet when you wanted to scream, the mornings you smiled when your spirit was raw, the years you protected the very people who did not see your cost. Archangel Michael says your suffering has not been wasted. It has been character, forged in the dark, and he is now stepping in because you have reached the point where the curse must meet its match. The enemy on your doorstep cannot stand still. Archangel Michael warns that they are already shifting their weight, adjusting their breath, checking their pocket for something they thought would protect them. They feel a wall where there was once an open door. They expected your home to welcome them, but now the threshold itself resists. That resistance is not your doing. That resistance is Archangel Michael's hand placed between you and the next generation of harm. And they know it. They may knock again, they may call your name through the wood, but Archangel Michael says to you, do not answer. Not yet. Let them feel the weight of his presence pressing back against their intent. You do not have to fight this battle with your own voice. Archangel Michael says, you have already fought long enough with silence and endurance. Now he fights with the authority that has always belonged to him. Every curse that was spoken over your family line, every word whispered behind a closed door, every ritual performed while you were sleeping, he is now standing over each one, pulling them apart like threads from a rotten cloth. And the person who delivered them is feeling the unraveling in real time. Take a breath. Feel the room. Archangel Michael says that what you are sensing right now is the turning point. You have lived through the dark. You have endured the second weapon that tried to make you believe the curse was your own nature. You have held on through confusion, through exhaustion, through moments when you almost opened the door to the very one who cursed your blood. But now Archangel Michael is here, and he is looking at something beyond you. He is looking toward the horizon, and he is calling for reinforcements. Not one. Not two. 5 of them are moving toward your house even as you listen. What happens next will change everything your family has known. Do not look away from this message. What Archangel Michael reveals in the next moment will show you exactly who is coming through that door with him. Archangel Michael says, the moment you have been prepared for has arrived. Do not move toward the door. Do not speak. Archangel Michael is calling the formation now, and you will feel them before you see them. The person who cursed your family is still standing outside, but they are no longer the one with power over this threshold. Archangel Michael is shifting the entire spiritual landscape around your home, and what you feel next is not the enemy's presence, it is the arrival of heaven itself. Archangel Michael says, look up. Above your head, Gabriel is already in position. He carries the announcement of divine timing, and he is releasing it now into every room of this house. The reason this moment was chosen is not random. Archangel Michael reveals that Gabriel's presence means the season of silence is over. The curse that moved through your bloodline, whispered in generations before you, hidden in patterns you only now recognize, that curse is about to be announced as broken. Gabriel stands above you with a trumpet you cannot hear with your ears, but your spirit will feel it as a wave of clarity. Archangel Michael says, you will suddenly understand why certain things happened the way they did. That understanding is Gabriel's gift. Now look to your right. Raphael is standing there, and his hands are already glowing green. Archangel Michael says, every wound the enemy opened in your family is about to be touched by that light. The wound of the argument that never healed. The wound of the inheritance that divided siblings. The wound of the chronic sickness that drained your mother. The wound of the silence between you and your father. Archangel Michael says, Raphael does not simply cover these wounds, he reverses the damage at the root. You may feel warmth spreading through your chest, your shoulders, your stomach. That is Raphael's light entering the places the enemy thought he had broken forever. Do not resist it. Breathe into it. To your left, Uriel is standing with a sword that burns. Archangel Michael warns, this fire is not for you. It is for the darkness that followed that cursed person into your home. The atmosphere of heaviness that clung to your living room after every holiday gathering. The cold draft that appeared near your bedroom door after that phone call. The nightmares your youngest had for months without explanation. Uriel is sweeping through every corner of this house right now, and Archangel Michael says, you may feel the pressure in the room change, a tightness that suddenly releases. That is the enemy's influence being burned out of your space. Do not be afraid of the heat. It is cleansing. Behind you, Azrael is already moving. Archangel Michael says, Azrael carries a blade that cuts what cannot be seen, the soul ties that the enemy used to attach himself to your bloodline. The curse did not travel by accident. It traveled through agreements made in fear, through betrayals that were never grieved, through silences that became invitations. Archangel Michael reveals that Azrael is severing those ties one by one. The tie to the relative who handed down resentment. The tie to the old wound that kept you loyal to suffering. The tie to the very person standing at your door. You may feel a sudden lightness behind your eyes, a dropping of tension in your jaw, a breath that comes easier. That is a tie being cut. Archangel Michael says, do not try to hold on to what was never yours to carry. And in front of you, Archangel Michael himself stands with the shield raised. He is not moving. He is not speaking. He is simply facing the door with his full authority. Archangel Michael says, every attack the enemy sends now will hit that shield and return to the one who sent it. The curse they are still muttering on your doorstep is now deflected. The words they spoke over your family years ago are now returning to them. Archangel Michael says, you do not need to fight. You do not need to confront. Your weapon is your stillness. The formation is complete. You are surrounded on all sides by light. Archangel Michael says, this is the safest you have ever been. But the real battle is about to begin. Stay here with me, because what comes next will determine how far this restoration goes. Archangel Michael says, the air above your home is splitting open. You cannot see it with your eyes, but your body knows. The hair on your arms rose before you read this sentence. That pressure in your chest is not anxiety, it is the weight of angelic wings passing through your ceiling. The battle you prayed for in secret is now overhead, and every prayer you ever whispered in the dark is being pulled from the atmosphere like a sword drawn from a sheath. The person outside your door does not know what is happening above them. They feel only the cold that crept into the hallway minutes ago. They mutter words that have no meaning to you, but Archangel Michael says those words are falling dead before they reach your walls. The formation you were told about in earlier moments, it is not a metaphor. It is a living wall of fire that surrounds every window, every door, every crack where darkness once entered. And right now, that formation is pressing inward, pushing the enemy away from your family line 1 inch at a time. You remember that night you sat alone on the edge of your bed, too tired to pray, too broken to form words. You remember the tears that fell onto your hands without a single sentence spoken. Archangel Michael says those tears were collected. Every single one has been stored as fuel for this exact hour. The angelic weapons that strike in this battle are not forged from metal, they are forged from your faithfulness in the years when no one saw you. That is the ammunition. That is what is dismantling the enemy's command structure right now. The hierarchy is collapsing. Above your home, in the realm you cannot see with your physical eyes, the dark forces that coordinated this curse are being separated from one another. Their communication is severed. The person at your door is now operating alone, cut off from the network that once guided their steps. Archangel Michael says they are confused. They expected a different outcome. They expected darkness to answer their call, but instead they found only silence and a weight pressing against their chest that they cannot explain. Something the enemy had already taken from your family is being reclaimed in this moment. Archangel Michael reveals that a connection you thought was permanently severed, a relationship, an opportunity, a thread of hope you buried years ago, is being pulled back into place by forces you cannot see. It is moving toward you right now, passing through the same atmosphere that holds this war. The enemy's grip is loosening one finger at a time, and the thing they stole is slipping from their hand. You do not need to do anything dramatic. Archangel Michael says, stay exactly where you are. Do not rush to the window. Do not open the door. Let the battle finish in the air above you before your feet move on the ground below. Your stillness is your authority. Your silence is your decree. The enemy expected you to panic, to react, to step into their trap. Instead, you are sitting here, receiving this message, and that alone is a victory. Keep your eyes open. What is about to happen will not be subtle. The commander of this curse, the one who orchestrated every attack against your bloodline, is about to reveal himself. He has been hidden until now, operating through others, never showing his face. But the battle above has forced him out of the shadows. Archangel Michael says, he will make himself known in the next few moments, not in a vision, not in a dream, but in a way that touches your real world. A name. A memory. A sudden understanding that hits your stomach like a fist. You were not imagining the pattern. You were not paranoid when you felt that someone was coordinating the pain in your family. Archangel Michael says, the moment is seconds away when the last veil drops and you see the face behind everything. But do not be afraid. The commander has already lost. He just does not know it yet. His final move is to reveal himself, because he thinks that will break you. Archangel Michael says, it will not break you. It will free you. Do not look away. The battle is nearly finished. The reclaiming has begun. And the one who cursed your family will watch from a distance as everything they stole returns to you. You have been waiting for a face you already know. But Archangel Michael says, the face at your door is not the face you will see when the commander falls. The person standing there is a puppet, a mask worn by something far older, far more patient, far more cunning. Archangel Michael reveals, the true commander has been hiding behind generations of your family's pain, feeding on silence, on secrets, on the moments no one dared speak aloud. He is not human. He is not a spirit of anger or revenge. He is a spirit of inheritance twisted into a curse, a thing that calls itself the Watcher of the Bloodline. He does not attack your family with violence. He attacks with memory. He whispers that your father's failure is your failure. He convinces your mother that her exhaustion is her own fault. He makes your children believe that the heaviness they carry is normal. And for decades, he has sat at the root of every argument, every illness, every door that closed, every hope that withered before it could bloom. Archangel Michael says, this commander chose your family for one reason. Your lineage carries a blessing so powerful that if it were released, it would change the lives of everyone connected to you. A gift of healing, of provision, of deep generational peace. And the Watcher was sent to block it. He has used the person at your door, your own relative, as his hands, feeding them jealousy, a thirst for control, a belief that the family's treasure belonged to them alone. That curse they spoke over your home, your marriage, your children's future, it was not their own. It was the Watcher's words moving through their mouth. Now, in this moment, Archangel Michael says the commander steps forward for the first time. He does not show you his face as a monster in the dark. He shows you a memory. He reaches into your own mind and pulls out the moment you hold most carefully hidden, the moment you believe you failed someone you loved. For you, it is the night your mother cried and you could not fix it. The day you lost your temper with your child and saw fear in their eyes. The year you let a sibling walk away without fighting for them. He holds that memory before you like a mirror, and he whispers, this is who you really are. This is why your family suffers. You are the source. Archangel Michael says, the Watcher has used this same tactic for generations. He makes the carrier of the blessing believe they are the carrier of the curse. He turns your own heart into his weapon. But Archangel Michael says, watch what happens now. The moment that memory surfaces, your body reacts. A heat rises from your chest. A pressure behind your eyes. A sound in your ears like distant thunder. That is not fear. That is the accumulated suffering of every generation before you, all of it, every unspoken grief, every sleepless night, every prayer whispered into darkness, pressing into that single memory. And instead of breaking you, it becomes a force. Archangel Michael speaks your name aloud in the language of your bloodline, and the watcher's face changes. He tries to hold the memory, but it is no longer his weapon. It is yours. And you know, with a clarity that pierces every lie, that your mother's tears were never your fault. That your child's fear was healed by your apology. That your siblings' walkaway was the beginning of their own path. The moment you thought was your shame is actually the moment you broke the cycle. You endured it. You stayed. You loved despite the heaviness. The watcher cannot stand against that. His hold on your family shatters with a sound like ice cracking underfoot. The room around you feels suddenly lighter, as if a pressure you did not know you were carrying has lifted from the walls themselves. Your ears pop. Your shoulders drop. Archangel Michael says, this is the moment of his fall. Not a dramatic flame, not a lightning strike, a dissolution. He is gone. The commander is undone by your willingness to look at your own wound and see it as your victory. Stay in this moment. The next part is yours to receive. Because now, everything the watcher was holding back is releasing. The door has not opened yet, but the threshold is no longer guarded. The cascade has begun. Archangel Michael says, the cascade you are feeling right now is not the end of the storm. It is the sound of every chain that was fastened in secret snapping open at once. You have been waiting for a visible sign, but Archangel Michael says the real sign is happening inside your bones this very second. The air in your room is changing density. Your jaw is unclenching. Your chest is expanding in a way it has not done in years. Archangel Michael says, this is the breaking. The first chain to fall is the financial chain. You remember the locked door, the opportunity that vanished the moment you reached for it, the promotion that went to someone else, the bill that arrived with no way to pay. That was not bad luck. That chain was forged from your family's old wound and wielded by the hand that now stands powerless at your threshold. Archangel Michael says, hear it break. It sounds like a rusted hinge tearing from its frame, a long metallic groan followed by silence. In your body, it feels like blood rushing back into fingers you did not realize were numb. The money that was held back is already moving. You will feel it before the week closes. The second chain is the chain of self-doubt. Archangel Michael says, you have carried this one so long you thought it was part of your personality. Every time you hesitated, every time you refused to speak up, every time you believed you were not enough, that voice was not yours. It was planted. The sound of this chain breaking is like a thick rope snapping under tension, a sharp crack that leaves a ringing in your ears. In your body, it feels like your spine straightening without you trying. Your throat is clearing. Archangel Michael says, you will speak now without rehearsing first. The third chain is the chain of loneliness. The person who cursed your family did not just attack your money or your confidence, they severed your connections. Friends drifted. Family gatherings grew cold. You felt invisible even in a crowded room. Archangel Michael says, that chain is dissolving now like ice dropped into warm water. There is no dramatic sound, only a soft sigh. But in your body, you will feel warmth spreading from your chest outward, as if someone just wrapped their arms around you from behind. The people who were meant to be near you are already being drawn back. Do not be surprised when an old name appears on your phone. Now watch the doors. Archangel Michael says, 3 doors were supernaturally locked by this enemy's work. The career door, it swings open with a groan of old hinges. The relationship door, it is already ajar, and you will see a familiar silhouette approaching. The health door, it was never truly closed, only hidden behind a curtain of exhaustion, and that curtain is being pulled aside now. Archangel Michael says, the enemy who stood at your door, the one who cursed your bloodline, is now watching these doors open from a distance they cannot cross. Their power has inverted. Every chain they tied to you is now a weight dragging them down. They cannot follow you through any of these openings. Archangel Michael says, you do not need to do anything but breathe. Feel this. The cascade is not a future event, it is happening in your body as you listen. Your shoulders are lower than they were a minute ago. Your breathing is deeper. There is a lightness behind your eyes that was not there before. This is the threshold crossing. The door has not opened yet, but the threshold is no longer guarded. Archangel Michael says, the cascade has become a flood. Now claim what is being released. Do not rush to the door. Do not speak the victory before it settles. Just sit in the physical evidence of what has already changed inside you. Archangel Michael says, the next pulse of release is already building, one final gift that will confirm everything. Stay present. The overflow is closer than your next breath. Archangel Michael says, that overflow is already entering the room with you now. Not later. Not after you open the door. Right now, in the stillness between your breaths, the chains you could never break alone are being undone one by one, and you can feel each link releasing before your mind catches up. Archangel Michael wants you to notice the quality of the air around you, not the air outside the door, but the air that fills the space where you are listening. It feels lighter than it did a moment ago, does it not? That is not imagination. That is the first chain giving way. The chain of financial strangulation, the one that wrapped itself around every bill, every delay, every closed door, that chain was forged from a specific curse spoken over your family line. Archangel Michael says you have felt it as a tightness in your throat every time you opened a payment app or stared at a late notice. That chain is breaking now with a sound like a thick rope snapping underwater, dull, deep, final. Your chest is already loosening. That is the sensation. Do not mistake it for relief alone. That is a chain detaching from your ribcage. The chain of self-doubt, the one that made you hesitate before every opportunity, that whispered you were not ready, that made you second-guess your worth, that chain was fed by the person at your door. Not through their words, but through the energy they planted inside your home when you were young. Archangel Michael says that chain is splintering like dry wood, and you can feel it in your spine. A straightening. A quiet confidence rising from a place you did not know you still had. That chain held your voice silent at family gatherings, at job interviews, in front of people you wanted to impress. It is gone now. The chain of loneliness, the one that convinced you that real connection was not for you, that you would always be the outsider in your own bloodline, that chain was the cruelest. It was woven from isolation spells disguised as personality flaws. Archangel Michael says it is dissolving like frost under a sudden sun, and the warmth you feel behind your eyes is not tears. It is the door to relationship swinging open on its own hinges. Do not rush to fill that space. Let the sensation settle. Someone is already walking toward that open door, someone who will recognize you without explanation. Archangel Michael has marked 3 doors that were supernaturally locked in your life. The first is the career door. It has been sealed by a generational curse that told your family you would never rise beyond a certain level. That door is now cracked open, and the light coming through is the offer you have been waiting for, not the same offer you missed last year, but a better one. The second is the health door. The sickness that repeated in your bloodline, the condition that seemed to follow your family like a shadow, that door is opening with a sound like an old lock turning after decades of rust. The third is the purpose door. The work your soul came here to do, the message you were born to carry, that door is no longer blocked by the person who cursed your family. Archangel Michael says they are watching from the other side of the street, unable to approach, their own power reversed and repelling them from the threshold you now occupy. What is happening to the enemy as these doors open? Their tongue grows heavy. Their hands tremble when they try to recall the words they spoke over your family. The curse has recoiled into their own bloodline, and they will taste the bitterness of every word they planted. You do not need to witness it. You only need to know that the ground beneath them is shifting, and they are scrambling for footing they will never find again. Do not rush to the door. Do not peer through the window. The final gift is still gathering momentum, a restoration that will answer the question you have not dared to ask aloud. Archangel Michael says, let this moment be your proof. Let the lightness in your chest be your testimony. What was locked is now open. What was planted in secret is now uprooted. And what was stolen is returning faster than you can count the seconds. Stay in this stillness. The last chain has only one more link to release. Archangel Michael says, the stillness you have held has just become your victory. Every second you did not move toward the door, every breath you did not waste on panic, every prayer you whispered without knowing if it was heard, that patience has now been counted, weighed, and sealed as evidence. The final link you felt trembling in the last moment is no longer a chain. It is a door swinging open on its own, and what steps through is not an enemy wearing a familiar face. What steps through is the decree that no curse, no generational assignment, no hidden contract signed in your bloodline will ever stand again. Archangel Michael says, the person who cursed your family is standing at your door, but they are not the one who holds the power anymore. The door is a threshold you have already crossed. You are not on the same plane as their intention. The ground beneath your feet has been re-sanctified while you waited. The curse that rode through the generations, the one that attached itself to a mother's grief, a father's silence, a child's inherited fear, has been stripped of its legal right. Archangel Michael says, the moment you refused to open the door with your own hands, you broke the chain of participation. They cannot curse a house whose occupant no longer answers to the old name. Now the final declaration is spoken from a place beyond time. Archangel Michael reveals that every assignment of poverty, sickness, division, and hidden shame that was programmed into your family line is hereby dissolved. Not paused. Not postponed. Dissolved. The financial block that arrived the same year your grandmother passed, the unexplained illness that surfaced after a family gathering you were too young to remember, the pattern of lost relationships that felt like a script you could not rewrite, Archangel Michael says, the author of those pages has been removed from the room. The script is cancelled. You are now writing with ink that cannot be erased. The restoration that enters now is not a patch. It is a full inheritance release. Archangel Michael says, your family line is being reset to its original design. The money that was delayed for decades is now moving through channels you never saw. The health that was stolen through whispered agreements and silent ceremonies is being regenerated in your bones as you read these words. The relationships that were poisoned by false narratives are being reordered, not by forced reconciliation, but by the exposure of truth. Archangel Michael wants you to notice that the heaviness you carried in your chest when you thought about certain family members is lifting. That is not wishful thinking. That is the seal being applied. Archangel Michael says, your name has been written in the book of divine protection. Not as a general entry, but as a specific inscription, one that identifies you as the one who stood still while the curse exhausted itself at your doorstep. Your name is protected from every spiritual lawsuit, every generational appeal, every attempt to reinstate what was cancelled tonight. No legal claim remains. The enemy's contract has no signature because you never gave yours. You were never bound by their agreement. You were only deceived into thinking you were. Archangel Michael says, that deception ends now. Do not expect a dramatic collapse at your door. The curse does not always fall with a loud sound. Sometimes it simply loses its grip in the middle of the night, and you wake up lighter without knowing why. Archangel Michael says, that lightness is already settling over your home. The person standing at the door is not your problem to solve. They are a witness to what has just been sealed. They will not remember why they came. They will turn away confused, carrying an assignment that no longer has a target. Now receive what is yours. Archangel Michael decrees that the financial door that was welded shut by envy is now open. The healing that was delayed by a hidden bloodline violation is now accelerating. The relationship that was poisoned by false loyalty is being untangled without your involvement. The purpose that was buried under family shame is now surfacing with clarity. You are not starting over. You are picking up what was always meant to reach your hands. The final instruction is simple. Archangel Michael says, seal this moment with your voice. Type the word Amen 777 in the comments. Not for show. Not for validation. But as a declaration that your family line has been reset, your name has been written, and the curse at your door has no jurisdiction over your future. What is sealed in heaven cannot be broken on earth. Archangel Michael says, this is your overflow. Step into it without looking back.